And it'll say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. All right. Once again, we thank you for the opportunity to transmit and share with you this information. This transmission has been titled Limitations Unlimited. Now, we understand in general, in your society, that when your people speak of such things as limitations, it quite often will carry with it a negative connotation, because it has been discussed that it is a positive thing to let go of limitations. That letting go of limitations gives you a sense of expansiveness, of freedom. And this is so, but we would like to clarify the idea of limitations now much more precisely, so that the idea is not just generalized with a negative light. Because there is such a thing as, for lack of a better term, positive limitations. In fact, the majority of limitations you experience are positive limitations. Now, perhaps a different word might be a little bit more illustrative. Maybe the idea of guidelines or the idea of focus, of intention, might be another way to express the concept of positive limitation. Because we do understand, not to confuse things, but to be more precise, we do understand that essentially, mechanically speaking, yes, limitations are mechanically negative in the sense that they create a kind of disconnection experience, forgetting experience. And the idea, therefore, that they might be mechanically negative doesn't mean that you cannot use them in a positive way. And using limitations in a positive way is what we mean by positive limitations. For example, you have agreed in general to play the Earth physical reality game. Obviously, right from the get-go, that is a kind of imposed limitation on your expanded consciousness as a spirit, as a larger being. You have to focus down, give yourself some parameters, some boundaries, some guidelines to focus upon in order to play the physical reality Earth game, which is, in a sense, more limited than the one that you would experience as a spirit in non-physical reality. But that's all right. These boundaries, these borders that you create for yourself, these guidelines and so-called rules of how to play the game, is what allows you to gain a positive experience of the process of creation. And even within that reality, there are many ways to experience the concept of using limitations in a positive way. Again, clearly, as you go about your day, you experience things that are the product and the result of you focusing on such things as your passion, on such things as communicating with your friends and families. There are ways in which you have gone about designing these things that takes advantage of the fact that you can limit your consciousness to have a very specifically focused experience in one particular way without paying attention to all the other connections that you may have in reality. And from time to time, you can loosen those up and allow yourself to become more aware of some of those other connections, but then even that is a kind of focused limitation, because you usually pay attention to one or two or a few particular things at a time in order to engage that process of creation in a way that your physical mind can handle it, can process it. The physical mind itself, again, is the product of imposing a limitation on your consciousness by creating an artificial personality structure that contains definitions, belief systems, emotions, thought patterns, behaviors, so on and so forth. But again, all for the purpose of going on a particular ride, just in the same way that if you decide to go to one of your theme parks, one of your amusement parks, you will focus on usually a ride at a time, or what it is that you are enjoying with your friends, or what it is you happen to be eating at that moment. That focus gives you, those guidelines and parameters give you an intensity of experience. That's what it's for. It's like narrowing down your vision so that there is a very small aperture through which a lot of energy and a lot of experience can come to allow it to be the most invigorating, the most intense experience that you can have, so that you're really living to the fullest. You're really getting every little ounce of what you can get and what you can experience out of this physical reality dream. It's a limitation upon your consciousness because it is just a projection of consciousness, but it is a projection that is made to seem real so that you can have a visceral experience of physical reality. Otherwise, it would be diaphanous. It would simply be made of smoke and mirrors. You would never be able to really have the kind of experiences that you have without the positive use of limitation. You follow along? So we simply share this idea with you this day of your time so that you don't necessarily go through your life just automatically assigning negative meanings to the ideas of limitations, and that you can really learn to appreciate how clever, how creative, how beneficial the limitations are that you use in positive ways to give you the wonderful, beautiful, creative, artistic experience you're having called physical life. So this is for the purpose of allowing you to open up a little bit, not be quite so limited in how you look at limitations, and give yourself the benefit of the positive experience of how you cleverly use the negative energy or the negative mechanics of creating a limitation on your consciousness in order to create a very powerful positive experience of life for yourselves. You understand? All right. So just let that sink in. Let the idea of how you focus on limitations just happen naturally. Again, synchronicity will serve you as to what you need to focus on at any given moment and what kind of rules or guidelines or parameters you need to pay attention to at any given moment. It's an adjustable, dynamically changing thing, always fluctuating in accordance to what you need at any given moment based on your vibration that you're giving off. So just let it occur naturally, and it will guide you unerringly through life to allow you to experience exactly what you need to experience in using that tool in a positive and beneficial way. So then, in return for the gift that you are giving to us in allowing us to experience all of you, we ask, in what way may we now be of service to you? Please begin with your questions and comments if you wish. Let's say good day to you this day of your time. How are you? All right, thank you. We thank you for the co-creation, and we thank you for the polarized synchronicity of going from an aligning tone to an alarming one. Now, let us talk about the idea of karma. Karma is very strongly linked with the idea of synchronicity, very, very much a representation of what we have termed the fourth law. What you put out is what you get back. For many, many generations on your planet, the concept of karma has been linked with the idea of punishment, retribution,
vengeance. But really that is not what it is about. It is more the idea of balancing, of recognizing that if you are putting out a vibration, putting out an idea, putting out a behavior that is out of alignment with what you prefer, with who you prefer to be in your heart of hearts, that you are always given an opportunity to bring that energy back into alignment, back into balance. In that sense, karma really is a guiding mechanism to allow you to be capable of feeling when you are out of tune, out of alignment, and that vibration of feeling out of alignment, the karmic vibration, in that sense, thus is your guidepost, is your marker, is your alignment tool. It lets you know when you have, in a sense, strayed outside the boundaries of the vibration that represents your natural self, your true self, the vibration that you prefer to be, and allows you to sense, to feel when you are out of alignment with that, so that you can give yourself the opportunity to recognize that, to always know that you are being guided by that vibration, and thus then, if you so desire, if you so prefer, if you so choose, to bring yourself back into alignment by recognizing the vibration as being something other than what you prefer. Now, in that sense, it is a frequency in existence that is representative, shall we say, of your alignment with creation, with all that is representative of your agreement to be a particular expression, to explore certain themes in your life. And when you allow yourself to use this karmic frequency, this karmic vibration, this guiding light, this beacon, this lighthouse called karma, so that you know always where that beam is pointing, where that compass needle is pointing to your true magnetic north, then you will be capable of recognizing how strongly connected to the concept of synchronicity the karmic vibration is. For the idea, of course, is that there is always synchronicity. Synchronicity never stops. It is just that you usually don't really want to recognize it as synchronicity when it is the type of feedback, the type of reflection that you don't enjoy, that you don't prefer. But it's synchronicity nonetheless. So in that sense, you could simply say that karma, the sensation, is really what you might call synchronicity of reflected misalignment. The idea is simply that you are always being given a reflection in life of some circumstance and some situation or some feeling or some awareness or some sensing or sensation that will be reflected at exactly the right place, the right time, exactly the right moment to let you know that you are not necessarily in accord, in alignment with the vibration of your preference, with the vibration of your true self, and that quote-unquote negative synchronicity or karmic vibration will always be there to reflect back to you, to give you yet again another opportunity, along with the feeling of the sensation of the karmic vibration, another opportunity through actual reflected situations and circumstances of knowing that you are not necessarily of the state of being that you prefer to be. So synchronicity in that sense works hand in hand with the karmic vibration to be a reflection, a guiding reflection, to strengthen your ability to tell, to strengthen your ability to discern when you are and are not in alignment with your preferred vibration. The law, as we have described it, the fourth law of what you put out is what you get back, is not always reflected on a one-to-one basis. The idea, of course, is that it is always going to be coming in a form that is representative of the symbolism, of the general theme, of the challenge that you are exploring. It's going to have a similar idea, similar reflection to the concept of the kind of symbols that you experience in dream time. We will discuss that in more detail tomorrow night of your time, but for now, suffice to say that the idea of the way in which negative synchronicity or karmic frequencies are often reflected to you is in circumstances and situations that may not necessarily at first be apparent to the vibration you're giving off. You may wonder why you are in the circumstance you are in, why you are experiencing the kind of difficulty or struggle you are experiencing, why you have run into that particular kind of brick wall. It doesn't necessarily at first seem to have anything at all to do with what you've been thinking about, where you've been aiming for, and so on and so forth. But if you allow yourself to understand how to use these tools, this karmic vibration and this reflective synchronicity of misalignment, you'll be able to take the time to stop, to examine, to explore what it is that has cropped up before you. And in so doing, in being willing to really investigate more deeply the idea of that karmic vibration, you will be surprised and astonished to find the depths of information that lie therein for you, the depths of revelation that the symbols will provide for you, and allow you to truly have deeper insight into where your belief systems lie and what beliefs are in and out of alignment with who you truly prefer to be and what kind of a life you truly prefer to experience in your theme of exploration in physical reality. So the idea involves a great degree of willingness to truly allow the information in. And this has been the struggle and the difficulty for many of you, because having had for so long a negative definition of karma, a punishing definition of karma, when the idea comes up, when the sensation comes up, when the situation and circumstance comes up that is a misaligned reflection, many people don't really want to look at it because they are afraid to look at it, because they have this definition that they're going to be punished for something, that suddenly it amplifies the idea of their fear, the fear that you are not worthy, the fear that you are undeserving, the reinforcement of the idea that you come up short, that you don't amount to anything. All of these ideas that are swirling around in your brains that you have been raised with for countless generations, none of them, I guarantee, none of those negative thoughts about yourself are in any way, shape, or form empirically true. They just simply aren't. I guarantee it. You will never, ever, ever actually discover that you are unworthy. Ever. You may create the experience of feeling unworthy, but you never actually can be unworthy. For again, if you were truly unworthy of creation, believe me, you would not exist. Because creation does not make mistakes. So if you exist, then existence must know that you must exist, must know that you have to be a part of all that is, for without you, all that is would not be all that is. It would be some of what could be. So the fact of your existence, in and of itself, is the first proof that you deserve, that you are in that sense able to experience your birthright of alignment, that you can never be found truly unworthy, even though you can create the experience of that idea. And the second proof, as we have often said, of your worthiness is the very fact that you're able to experience unworthiness. For you are supported so unconditionally, so worthy are you, that you are supported in anything you believe to be true about yourself, including the belief that you are unworthy. That's how worthy you are. That's how loved you are. You are allowed to have experiences of not being loved. You're allowed to have experiences of not being worthy, of not being deserving, because you are deserving of anything you imagine that is true for you. And all that is will never interfere, never stop you from experiencing what you say is the most true thing you believe about yourself. So trust that karma is not there to punish you. It is there to enlighten you, there to illuminate you, there to remind you of your true worthiness, that you are always guided, you are never without guidance by the vibration of all that is like a beacon, sending each of you that particular frequency that is your true self, and giving you the ability to experience, to feel, to know, to sense, to see reflections of when you stray from that vibration. Of course, again, you're allowed to have an experience of straying from that vibration, even though you never actually do stray from the ultimate core frequency. You can use your core frequency to make it seem as if you have. That's how powerful a creator you are. You can actually use the vibration of your true self to make yourself seem like someone you don't prefer to be. That's a powerful creation. And the more you are willing to experience the reflections of what you are not, the more you're willing to experience the karmic vibration, the more you're willing to experience the synchronicity of misalignment, the more capable you will be of remaining in the vibration of your true self, because you no longer fear the vibration of karma. You know that karma is your guiding light. It is your friend. It is your governing influence. It is your clear-cut path. It is the vibration that tells you very clearly what and who you are not, so that you can more clearly understand what and who you truly are. More karma.